Well, good morning, everybody. This is Steve and
Hi.
Kathy, and we are getting ready to set off on the hike for a hospice facility here in North Halton. This is a 5-kilometer hike. We're going down Mill Street and around Guelph and Maple. We're going to go around the Superstore block and the park up there, and then come back to the church. It's a 5-kilometer loop. I'd like to thank everybody who has pledged us so far, and we're going to be hopefully reaching the $30,000 goal for the entire hike program. We have raised over $1,000, and thank you everybody who has pledged us so far. And without further ado, we're going to get on our way. So what is a hospice? Well, quite simply, a hospice is a place where people go to die. And as grim as that sounds, it's actually not. A lot of people get into terminal stages of things like cancer, other debilitating diseases like ALS, and situations like that. And the family devolved into being the caregivers. They go from being wife, husband, sons, daughters. They go to nurses and assistant nurses and suppliers, and that's what they become in the terminal stages of a person's life. That's if they're staying at home. If they're in the hospital, well, especially right now, the hospitals are extremely difficult to access in some ways. And when you go into the hospital, you're in a very sterilized environment. I've been in the dying room here at Georgetown Hospital. That's what they call it when someone gets into terminal stages and they're not going home. It's quiet, it's spare, it's stark. It's a difficult place to be. And you're surrounded by the chaos of the hospital. You've got the announcements coming over the speakers. The smell is that hospital smell. From what I've been told, is I've been near a hospice. I've never actually been in one. But from what I've been told, the most common smell at a hospice is the soup being cooked in the kitchen. Because a hospice is a place where everybody knows that death is coming, and they're there to make it as comfortable as possible. The nurses, the staff, all the caregivers, they are guiding everyone towards those last moments of life with as much dignity and fellowship as can be mustered. It's a very warm, caring environment for everybody who comes in. And this is what we're trying to provide in North Halton. So don't we have hospice facilities available to people in North Halton in nearby towns? Well, there's a hospice in Guelph, there's a hospice in Mississauga, there's a hospice in Bramalea, and there's a hospice in South Oakville. Those communities that I've named have about 1 million residents between them. And so those 4 hospices are all very busy with the people that live in their own areas. There just isn't one for North Halton at all. And I say North Halton because the plan of the Townsend Smith Hospice Foundation is to put it in the triangle between the north of Milton, Acton, and Georgetown. So it belongs to all 3 communities. Because if they put it in Central Milton or South Milton, it's going to feel like it's for Milton people. Milton's at 100,000. It will feel like it's for Milton people. But if they put it up in this area, it will feel like it's for all 3 communities. And that's pretty awesome. Say hello.
Hello.
So how big a hospice? Well, they're aiming for it to be 10 beds. Now, why 10 beds? 10 beds is the largest that a hospice can be without being declared a small hospital. Different regulations come into effect if they add an 11th bed. With 10 beds, there are provincial supports and subsidies, all kinds of helps that are available for hospice facilities. We will still have to be doing fundraising even when the hospice is built. There will still need to be community support for the facility. But it's one of those things where the more people use it, the more people will understand how valuable a resource it is. When we were setting out, I saw a friend of mine sitting on a bench and told him what we were doing, and he said that he knew someone who had died in a hospice in Mississauga, and they couldn't stop talking about the quality of care and the intimacy that they felt with the staff there. Average stay in a hospice, I think they said the average stay is about a week. There are some people who get in there and they will linger for weeks and weeks. They rally. They actually call it the hospice rally. There are others who get into the hospice and expire within 1 to 2 to 3 days. They relax. They know that everything is going to be all right and that they're going to have dignity in their dying. And so, that's what we're trying to raise. Now, in terms of teams, as of this morning, there were 29 teams registered to do this hike. Well over 130 walkers. We have been blessed as a team of 2 to have over $1,200 in donations come in from you. And again, thank you very much. There are a few other teams that have more. The goal of this event is $30,000. The eventual goal of the foundation is $10 million. That's how much it's going to take to acquire the parcel of land, raise a 10,000 square foot building, parking, green space, and staff. After that, as I say, there will be government subsidies and there will be other things that kick in. But we will still need to be doing fundraising. Every community in Ontario that has a hospice is doing a hike for hospice today. So thousands and thousands of us are out doing this walk today. And every community that has a hospice is thankful for people like you.